Hey everyone, it's Adrian from the Pageant Project, and I have my friend Casey Gibson from the Crowning Moment podcast over in the United States. Casey, how's it going?
It's going great. It's around, I guess, 8:15-ish PM here, so it's nighttime for me, and I know it's daytime for you, but I've got my nice little bubbly seltzer, and I am ready to look at some of our top videos for the Miss Earth competition.
Yep. So what we have are the country's eco initiative videos. What we're going to do for this video, we're mixing it up a little bit. So Casey and I are going to give our top three from each of the 4-day videos. So day one, day two, day three, day four. We'll announce our country, and then we'll play the clip that country submitted, and then we'll just have a little bit of a banter about it. And in this video, we'll cover days 1 and 2, and then you'll have to revisit us for days 3 and 4. But yeah, shall we get into it? I told Casey she could go first. So, Casey, your first pick was Albania.
Albania.
All right, so let's bring Albania onto stage, so to speak. We'll play Albania's clip, and then we'll do our normal ADHD thing of going 1.25, and then we'll get Casey to tell us why she picked Albania.
Vjosa River is one of the last undammed waterways in Europe and is declared a national park by the Albanian government, becoming the first wild river national park in Europe. The initiative to conserve the Vjosa as a free-flowing river began almost a decade ago, and it got a lot of media attention, including the legendary actor on Hollywood, Leonardo DiCaprio, standing by to save the blue heart of Europe. The river is the host to over 101 species, including 13 globally threatened animals and 2 plant species, and at least 50 animals and 24 plant species are included in the National Red List of Albania. It is the highest level of protection on a national level, aimed at preserving ecosystems, biodiversity, and endangered species, as well as benefiting the local community. People who visit the Vjosa River can enjoy hike and camp in its luscious forest, climb and swim in its spectacular canyons, and of course rafting. The park offers its visitors beautiful canyons, braided river sections, and meandering stretches.
Scenery is absolutely beautiful. I remember that being the absolute first video I saw. It's like, wow, that water is that blue. Anyway, that's one of your top three. So do you want to go into it?
Yeah, I just think it was such a strong start for the presentations for this week. I think that it was just different than all the other ones I'd seen. The quality of this video was so just off the charts. And I mean, this is just one that I was one thing that I was looking for from all of these videos was, are they actually in the video? Because some
Mm,
of them they weren't. And so she actually was immersed in the river talking about it. And so
yeah.
it gave me a different view of, not only is this something that they're trying to protect, but they also are using it as a fun excitement that people all around the city can enjoy. And so I really just really like this one. I think that just the quality is really what drew me to pick this one, because
Mm.
this one was my number one, like, overall for the day.
Well, cool. I will say also, it does show a bit of extra effort if they're at the actual landmark or the initiative itself, which is cool. Oh, look at that water. But I
Mhm.
don't have. I shouldn't complain. I'm in Australia. I'm in Sydney. We do have a lot of water around us, but it's not. It's not that particular. I don't know if South Carolina. Do you have water like this?
We have water, but it looks
Oh, good.
dirty. It does
Oh,
not look
great.
good. It looks like brown dirt. It's not great.
Well, I know which way I'm voting. Okay, I'm going with Albania on this one, not South Carolina. All right, what we'll do, Casey, we'll go in alphabetical order. So I'll give you the next one as well, because the next one is Czech Republic. So let me just find Czech Republic here. Guys, just bear with me whilst I find the timestamp. All right, Czech Republic. Here we go.
My favorite environmental project in the Czech Republic is the Day for Forest Restoration. Every year, several thousand Czechs come together to plant tens of thousands of oaks, beeches, lindens, firs, and other trees. It is wonderful to meet so many people who care about nature and the future of the planet, and together they will plant a whole new forest. Each new forest is first carefully designed according to the specific location. It will retain water much better, create shade, and clean the air. But tree planting is not the only point of the day. We learn more about the work of foresters and about safely in the forest. The Day for Forest Restoration is supported by the biggest Czech companies, media, and famous personalities. It is simply a wonderful day in a great company when you do something wonderful for the planet.
My name is Sylvia Tapham, and I.
Ooh. All right. So, Czech Republic. What are your thoughts, Casey? Oh, can you hear me?
Sorry, my headset in the middle of all of it just yes, I can now. I can hear you now. Sorry, it cut out for some reason. That was so
Oh,
weird.
good.
No
Tech issues.
idea why that
All right.
happened.
So, Czech Republic, over to you.
Yes. No, I just like that she was actually involved in the act of helping her environment, her eco initiative around her. Another one of those, it really gave me brownie points if they were actually in the video experiencing some sort of the environment, their initiative as a whole. That really just stuck out to me. And with this one, I really like Czech since the beginning. I think that her like intro video just kind of drew me in. She seems very not your typical pageant gal, and I
Mm.
love that. She just seems like more of just a happy, kind person that's just, like, "Oh, why not do a pageant?" So, I just get a different vibe from her, and I think she's gonna bring it in a different way that not is the
Yeah.
typical pageant patty kind of way. So, I really like this one again, great quality on video. I love a good crisp quality video, and this was another one of those for me.
I mean, look at that shot there. I mean, that's just
Right?
ridiculous. I don't know where that is, but that is ridiculous. Wow. Okay. And I will say the first thing I noticed at the very beginning of the video, I think she had like a sleeve tattoo. So to your point of her not being a typical pageant girl, I was like, oh, that's the first thing I noticed. You got a tattoo and you're in a pageant. Good for you. I do not have any tattoos, so I am a typical pageant girl, apparently. All right, the next one is me, Denmark, which is right after this. So we'll go to Denmark.
Company when you do something wonderful for the planet.
My name is Sylvia Tapham, and I'm Miss Earth Denmark 2023. Denmark has over 6,000 windmills onshore and offshore. They make up 29% of the Danish energy supply. Together with solar power, they cover 53% of Denmark's electrical consumption. This is why Denmark is one of the leading countries in the world when it comes to renewable energy. The Danish government, as well as the population, invest a lot of time and money in making our country greener. They've even set several climate goals for the near future, such as wishing to be 100% CO2 neutral by the year of 2050. By the looks of it, we're definitely headed in the right direction.
I think that's it. All right, so Denmark was one of my picks. I don't have them in any order here. These are just the top three from day one. I love the fact that she paints Denmark in a very good light. Given that it's Miss Earth, I think this is a very strong statement for Denmark as an environmentally conscious country. And that's kind of what I was looking for. It's like, okay, these are the eco initiatives of the country. You have to portray your country as being environmentally conscious. And I don't know. I have a thing for seeing like footage of giant windmills. I'm fascinated with. I don't know if you call these windmills or wind turbines or what you call them, but just like the fact that they're on the ocean, it just boggles my mind from an engineering perspective how you could do that. I will say also that I think she speaks very well, and I could see her. If she was to win the title, she'd be able to represent it very, very well, speak very clearly, and obviously being a med student, she's bright as well. So those are my thoughts on Denmark. And then the next one also. Oh, Casey, did you want to chip in anything before I move to the next one?
Nope, I'm good.
So the next one was England. Now, I will say, I know Jordan. And Jordan, I shouldn't laugh. That's terrible. She messaged me going, I've got a new thing to be remembered for, but it's probably not intentional. I said, what? She got hit by a car. In a parking lot. She got run over by a car. I was like, what are you doing? She's Christmas shopping and she got hit in a parking lot by a car because the girl was too busy looking at her phone. She slammed down on like a crutch or something. And I was like, oh my God, Jordan. This is not what's supposed to be. I mean, pageantry, we talk about resilience, but I didn't want you to throw yourself in front of a car. But anyway, she's fine. She's been cleared to travel, but I just thought I'd bring that up. So I hope, Jordan, you're recovering well. But I did ask her, like, when she said she got hit, like, well, did you at least get hit by a truck or something? So no, she got hit by like a miserable little, tiny hatchback sort of thing. Like,
Yeah, little car.
yeah, a tiny miserable car. Anyway, apparently her partner was also very excited to hear what she'd been run over by. So I don't know if this is a man thing. It's like when your girlfriend tells you she's been hit by a car, like, what kind of car did you get hit by? It's not
Yeah,
like,
you're
not
like, what
are you
about
okay? It's
me?
like, no, it's like, oh, you got hit by like a really expensive car. I think that's what her partner told. Did you get hit by like a really expensive car, like a Porsche or something? Like, no. Anyway,
No.
that's a little detour. So here we go, England.
but for future generations.
Over the years, my beautiful country, England, has become a global leader in environmental preservation and innovation. This journey has been marked by several key pieces of legislation, many of which began in this building right behind me, the Houses of Parliament. Through the Climate Change Act, the UK became the first country in the world to legally commit to net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. This groundbreaking commitment is a testament to our dedication to tackle one of the most pressing global challenges. One of the cornerstones of England's environmental initiatives has been the promotion of renewable energy sources. Our nation has significantly increased its use of wind, solar and tidal power, and England is home to the largest offshore wind farms in the world, such as the Hornsey Project and Walney Wind Farm, which is right here in my hometown. The construction of these has not only reduced our reliance on fossil fuels, but has also generated thousands of green jobs, promoting economic growth in the process. In addition to renewable energy, England has also been a champion of sustainable transportation. Initiatives like the ultra-low emission zone in major cities like London, Birmingham, Sheffield and more have encouraged the use of electric vehicles and reduced harmful emissions. Additionally, investment in public transport and cycling infrastructure has made it easier for people in England to choose eco-friendly mode of transport. England's environmental initiatives are a testament to our commitment to a greener, more sustainable future. Through government policies, conservation efforts and public engagement, we are making strides towards a healthier planet. But we must remember that our journey is ongoing, and we must remain steadfast in our dedication to protecting our environment for the generations that will inherit it. Together, we can build a brighter and more sustainable future for England and the world.
So clearly, again, the way to my heart is just by showing these wind farms. I just realized that anytime there's a wind farm, I'm like, yeah, I like that one. What I really liked about Jordan's video, in all seriousness, is I think it was very professionally put together. So, the use of the graphics, which I thought was clever, but then she actually has footage of herself in different places. And again, she spoke very well. So my thinking on this is like, if she had to create a video to attract attention to her cause, obviously she can do that. I'm fairly certain she could put this together herself as well. So she's capable of speaking, she's capable of getting the footage and then even editing it together with graphics, which is another level on top. So I liked it for those reasons. I believe the next one is yours, Casey. So we're going to skip over to France. And here we go.
Let's plan tomorrow today.
I am proud of France's commitment to environmental sustainability. One significant achievement is our leadership in renewable energy. France has made substantial investments in wind, solar, and hydroelectric power, alongside being a major producer of nuclear energy. This diversification has not only reduced carbon emissions, but also paved the way for a cleaner and more sustainable future. Our commitment is also showcased through eco-friendly transportation investments, including electric buses and high-speed trains to reduce emissions and provide sustainable mobility solutions. France's strong environmental laws are another testament to our dedication. From banning single-use plastics to confronting urban air pollution head-on, we prioritize the well-being of our citizens and the planet. In Toulouse, the renowned Place du Capitole has been transformed into a green, shaded space with ribbon-like structures. This initiative addresses urban issues and promotes biodiversity in the city center. France's commitment to environmental sustainability extends, of course, beyond our borders, and we look forward to collaborating with other nations like Vietnam in the international partnership for a just energy transition. Also, we played a central role in shaping the 2015 Paris Agreement. This groundbreaking treaty, originating in France, reflects our resolute commitment to United Nations in the battle against climate change. As Miss Earth France 2023, I am dedicated to championing this cause with all my heart. Together, we can create a cleaner and healthier planet for all.
Beautiful video. All right, Casey, it's your pick. So your thoughts.
No, definitely another great quality video, very well put together. The graphics weren't too cartoony. They were very,
Mhm.
realistic, which is something that I also like. She's in the video, huge plus for me. She hit on a big thing, which was that Paris Agreement, which I thought was interesting, and I'm kind of glad she threw in there talking about from 2015.
Yeah.
And I also like the fact that she talked about working with Vietnam
Yes.
specifically in the video because that
Yeah.
just immediately thought, "Oh, okay, she's not only just thinking about her country and other countries, she's thinking about the country that they're about to go to attend the competition as well."
Mm.
So that really stuck with me there, and so those were definitely France, um, Albania, and what was my
Czech
other
Republic.
one I had? Czech
Czech
Republic.
Republic.
Those 3 for me really just stuck out. Good quality all the way over. Beautiful girls like always. They all look amazing. But really in this they tend to the little things of outfits, the
Mm.
way that they act when they're in public, it's not unnatural. Like her walking down a stairwell, coming into the
Mm.
area that was not unnatural. And so that's something that I just really look at is just the little details. And of course, clothing is my big thing. She has on a dress that has like a flower pattern, like things like that really stick out to me and it draws my eye into the picture. But those ones, they all just told a good story for me, but really sold me on their eco initiative as well.
Nice. All right. So my final pick for video one was a US Virgin Islands. Let's just find it over here. All right. So final one for day one. Here we go.
The United States Virgin Islands is engaged in national environmental initiatives to promote the restoration of our beloved endangered seascape and sea life, to revive the critically endangered forests that protect us during catastrophic storms, and to reduce our carbon footprint collectively. The coral restoration projects have been underway for many years. The Virgin Island seascape is majestic, but rapidly declining due to natural and human factors. Coral World has been the host of coral reef restoration since 2009, with the installation of the Coral Reef Nursery Tree. Now, they are engaged in coral microfragmentation, coral bleach disease watching, coral gardening, and so much more. With replanted and thriving reefs, species of sea life that depend on the reefs for survival will replenish our seas. The University of the Virgin Islands has been focusing on mangrove restoration projects. The overarching goal is to collect mangrove seedlings, grow them to juvenile plants, and reinforce coastal areas where there are little to no mangroves. My goal is to spend my year planting mangroves alongside volunteers and educating others as I learn the process. This summer, I had the honor of touring our local Department of Planning and Natural Resource Initiatives. DPNR is dedicated to preserving the quality of the United States Virgin Islands air, land, and water resources for use and enjoyment today and in the future. I mentioned popular initiatives, but I would like to highlight that many community members, private organizations, and wonderful federally funded programs exist for the sole mission of keeping the Virgin Islands nice. My passionate environmental goal is to turtle at the Sandy Point Wildlife Refuge under the stars and to watch hundreds of hatchlings swim to sea. I will be a part of the many volunteers saving our sea life. We must protect our paradise for generations to come. My territory is truly leading the way.
All right, so I can see Casey there bopping along in the background. So I think that's one of the things I like about this video and this candidate in particular. It's just the energy. Like as soon as she starts speaking, the thing is, I just would never bet against her. Like when you hear how specific what she's talking about is, it's not some airy fairy thing. It's very, very specific. And then hearing her energy, I would bet dollars to donuts that she's someone who's really going to get this done. And I think that's what sold me about this video. Sold me, in inverted commas, it's because she sounds like she has so much energy, maybe too much energy for some people. But I love that upbeat kind of very specific. This is what I'm going to get done, and you can again, she's there. It's not like talking about something she's never seen or never done or just Googled. She's actually there, and obviously it's something that appeals to her. So, all right. So those are my top three. No particular order: Denmark, England, and the US Virgin Islands. This is from episode one or day one. Remember, Casey's picks were Albania, Czech Republic, and France. And yes, if you noticed, we didn't agree on any of them. But I think all of Casey's picks I had as potentials anyway. It's just picking the top three.
Yeah, this last
Um,
one, I knew after watching her video, I was like, Adrian is going to love this video. I really have enjoyed watching all of her stuff. Madison, I had seen her social media I think it was last week or the week before.
yeah.
She'd randomly come up on my For You page, and I'm like, oh, okay, this face is familiar. And I was looking at her sash, and I went, oh my gosh, I've watched all of her videos now. But I really like her. She does have such a great energy. She just seems
Mm,
like that one friend in the group that just keeps everybody going, even on a bad day. Like she's that friend.
exactly. Yeah, she seems very real to me, down to earth, and not holding herself above anyone else. So I
Oh,
really, really like that. And so, all right. So and we're moving on to episode 2 now. Casey's
Mhm.
going to be up first with Bangladesh. Let me just get this rolling. Oh, tech issues. All right, here we go. Bangladesh. Whack it on our ADHD speed. Yes. Okay, here we go.
One Earth, one home. Our Mother Nature has been nourishing us since the beginning of time. But are we nurturing our mother? Barely. That's why catastrophic collateral damages has been occurring to our home. And Bangladesh is the worst sufferer of this. But there is still hope. Individual groups and government-based organizations are taking eco-initiatives that are kindling a hope, hoping to create a better and more sustainable future for our generation. Bangladesh government has granted 40 billion in Bangladesh currency to control the climate. Additionally, initiatives are taken striving to reduce the extraction that destroys the ozone layer. Bangladesh has solar and green energy goals. The country plans to generate 4,100 megawatt of clean energy by 2030, consisting of 2,277 megawatt of solar, 1,090 megawatt of hydropower, and 597 megawatt from wind power. To celebrate the birthday of the founder of Bangladesh, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the government took an initiative to plant 10 million trees across the country. Global Tiger Initiative. The Bangladesh Forest Department conducted a census of Bengal tigers in the country and used the data to monitor the size and density of tiger population in the Bangladesh Sundarban. Not only the government, but the people of Bangladesh are also putting their heart and soul into these eco initiatives and their executions. I am Anika Bushra Maria, your Miss Art Bangladesh 2023, and I'm also working on promoting eco-friendly initiatives in my country because we have to remember that we need to be the change we want to see.
All right, Casey, over to you.
I just love her. This starting out, I guess, for the second video. As soon as it started, she grabbed me, and I like how she spoke almost in my brain. It gave me a heading and then bullet points is how she spoke
Yeah.
the entire time, which it helps me think. Our
Yeah.
ADHD brains over here. It just if you tell me what the topic is and give me the bullet points,
It was very
I
well
can do anything.
constructed. Yeah.
Yes, and it wasn't where it was like you could tell definitely she was reading some sort of script, like, on the over voice, but I didn't take it as like a da 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 da. No, like, she
Yeah.
had, like, boom, like, good inflection in her voice. Again, another well put together video. The quality was key. She had different outfits for different sorts of the conversation, which I really liked. So she had a
Mm.
yellow dress here, and now she has this dress at the end. I really The big thing that really brought me in was showing the different like the videos and pictures of like the government and what they were doing, and then talking about planting 10 million trees. Like, that's insane, but like as initiative, like, that's awesome. So she's already telling us, like, not only is that the initiative, we are already doing it. Like, we have planted
Yeah.
that, we're doing this. So I really enjoyed this video, and I'm excited to see what she looks like on stage and kind of what she brings to the competition in person, because her videos have been great. So I've liked this one.
Okay, now the next one is the first one that we agree on. So maybe this is maybe this means something. We're going to go to Kenya. So both Casey and I picked Kenya in our top 10. Here we go.
Kenya is at the forefront of environmental initiatives, leading the way towards a sustainable future. We are harnessing the power of the sun and wind to generate green energy. Our commitment to renewable energy sources is reducing our carbon footprint, lighting up homes and powering electric vehicles. Kenya is actively participating in carbon credits trading, offsetting emissions, and investing in projects that promote clean energy and reforestation. We are not only protecting our environment, but also contributing to global efforts to combat climate change. These initiatives show our commitment to a greener, cleaner, and more sustainable future. As Miss Earth Kenya, I am honored to be part of a nation that doesn't just cherish its natural beauty, but actively works to preserve it. Kenya's dedication to environmental sustainability is a beacon of hope. Together, let's continue to nurture our precious earth for us and for the generations to come. Miss Earth Kenya, inspiring change, leading the way.
Okay, so this is the first one that Casey and I both picked. For me, what's really coming through is the power in her voice. So there's a lot of other things I could mention. I think the footage was great. I think she constructed the video well, and it was a compelling message. But she just has a really powerful delivery, which again makes me think, similar to US Virgin Islands, I wouldn't bet against her. Like, I could see this young woman like at the United Nations. I know we already had a contestant who spoke at the United Nations, but she could be at the UN or giving a TED talk and be like, yeah, she belongs there. I wouldn't worry about her being fazed by it. So I really liked not just what she said, but also how she said it. Casey, your thoughts?
We were thinking the exact same thing. I could put her behind a podium in front of thousands of people, and I think that she could keep the world peace. Like she
Mm,
could just keep it. And that's something that you really want. You want someone that can go into a room and not she honestly didn't have to say a word, and I would still be, trusting and just involved in whatever she was just around. And I think that does help with just like obviously she's a human resource graduate and she does
mm,
modeling. So like she gets the best of both worlds. She kind of understands a little bit of both, which is awesome.
yeah,
Again, video was well put together, but this one it was definitely how she said it and what she said is that pulled me in. And so this one was definitely one of my favorites for day two. It had to be one of them.
perfect. All right, next one is one of mine. It's the Netherlands. Let me just find the timestamp here. Okay, here we go.
Mother Earth.
I want to share with you the environmental initiatives and projects in the Netherlands. As a Dutch inhabitant, I can proudly say these are something to be truly proud of. Let's start with the Netherlands Delta Networks. These are a testament to our centuries-old battle against the sea. These Kwan structures not only shield us from flooding, but also showcase our resilience in the face of the climate change. They remind us that our country, despite being low-lying, can thrive with smart water management. Then there's Amsterdam, our vibrant capital. This is the example of sustainable urban living. With an extensive network of cycling paths, efficient electric public transport, and green spaces all around. Amsterdam leads the way in showing that a major city can flourish and combine development and nature. But let's not forget the magnificent solar parks. These vast fields of solar panels harness the abundant power of the sun. They not only reduce carbon emissions, but also pave the way for a cleaner, more sustainable energy landscape. They underscore that we are serious about renewable energy and a greener future. This is just a glimpse of the Netherlands. Our country showcases how innovations, conservation and sustainability can seamlessly woven into the fabric of a nation. We want to inspire the world to follow us on our path to a greener and more sustainable future.
I wonder if I picked a single video that didn't have a wind farm in it. Anyway, moving on. What I really loved about Noah's video is how well she sold the Netherlands to me. It wasn't so much about her, it was about the country. And I know that the Dutch are doing a lot of things like that. I interviewed Noah's 2-year predecessor, Sajo. I know her fairly well. I published her in my book. And I asked her about things like bicycle riding, because I thought that was a stereotype, and windmills. And she was like, no, absolutely. We bike everywhere, and there's dedicated bicycle lanes. I don't know if this is a normal thing for you, Casey, where you're at. It's not really normal here. It happens every now and then, but there's dedicated bicycle lanes, easier ways to take your bikes onto public transport, etc. So I think she sold the Netherlands very well in terms of how environmentally conscious it is. And I thought the variety of footage was really good, and it was in lockstep with, again, to your point previously about being constructed. I think she constructed the what she said very, very well. I could follow. It was like, okay, now we're talking about this, now we're looking at this, now we're looking at this. Like, cool, I got that. So that was why I picked the Netherlands. Next one is going to be me again, the US. So we will skip over to 3152. Here we go.
It's no secret that our cities are choking on pollution and our planet is in crisis. But there's a solution right at our fingertips. I'm proud that the United States has been leading the charge to transition to renewable energy and especially electric cars. How did we get here? After World War II, economic growth, population growth, rapid suburbanization, and the closing of public transit systems led to more reliance on personal vehicles. The number of cars and trucks in the United States increased dramatically, as did the number of highways. One result of the rapid increase of motor vehicles was air and water pollution. In recent years, American automakers like Tesla, General Motors, and Ford have invested in electrical vehicle production and innovation. Tesla, in particular, has played a significant role in popularizing electric cars globally. Unlike traditional vehicles, electric cars produce zero tailpipe emissions, thus immediately aiding in our climate rehabilitation efforts. The United States government stepped up to provide citizens with tax credits in exchange for the adoption of electric vehicles. Some states like California have announced strict regulations stating that by the year 2035, all vehicles sold in the state must be electric. hydrogen-fueled, or hybrid. Approximately 20 additional U.S. states have agreed to enact similar regulations. The nation's bipartisan infrastructure law of 2021 earmarked $5 billion to boost the electric vehicle charging infrastructure, with a goal to install 500,000 EV chargers across America by the year 2030 and ensure no highway exceeds 50 miles without a charging station. The biggest issue in this transition is the cost of electric vehicles, which must be addressed in order to truly achieve these goals. We know that change can be difficult, but America, everyone knows that our country is the second largest contributor to the planet's air and water pollution. Electric vehicles are not coming, they are here, and they are the very best option to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and combat climate change.
I think what Miss Earth USA needs is to get Tesla on board as a sponsor. What do you think? Whoever wins a title this year or next year gets a Tesla. I think that would be on brand, don't you?
I think that'd be perfect because just I started laughing because when I watched it through when I was just watching these videos before, and Danielle's in the front of the Tesla, and I'm
Yeah.
like, not in the hood.
Yeah,
was
I
dying.
saw that on
My
her
roommate and I watched
Instagram,
that.
like casually reclining in a Tesla. But what I loved about this one, it was like a mini documentary for me. I think it laid out very well, gave some of the history to it, some of the initiatives that were happening, and the ways it was going to happen, like with the political system. And the footage was really nice. I was really engrossed in that. Like it kept my attention. I mean, it's only like a 2-minute video, but I think that's in this day and age where people have 6-second attention spans. That's still saying something. So yeah, Tesla, if you're interested in sponsoring Miss Earth USA, absolutely. Feel free to send one my way as well. That it would never hurt. Okay,
I think we skipped. Wait, what video are we on? We're on video. We're
we
on
are
number
now
2. We're
on.
good.
Yep.
Yep,
So you've done
sorry.
Kenya, you've done Bangladesh and Kenya, which we
And now
both
we
did.
have
Now you've got Zimbabwe. So
I
the
was
last one's
jumping
gonna
ahead.
be going at 1.5 speed, and you're still jumping ahead, Casey. If I put it any faster, people won't be able to tell what's going on. All right. So Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, a land of natural wonders and abundant biodiversity. Today, we take a closer look at some of the major environmental initiatives that Zimbabwe has undertaken to protect and preserve its natural heritage. The first thing is creation of sustainable cities. In recent years, Zimbabwe has placed great emphasis on creating sustainable cities. Through urban planning and development, the country has implemented initiatives to enhance energy efficiency, waste management, and public transportation systems. The second thing is national parks and wildlife conservation. Zimbabwe is home to an array of national parks, including Hwange National Park, Mana Falls, and Matobo. The government has implemented robust measures to protect its wildlife and ecosystems. For example, Hwange National Park, one of Zimbabwe's largest game reserves, has implemented anti-poaching measures and increased patrols to combat illegal wildlife trade. These efforts have significantly reduced poaching incidences and contributed to the conservation of endangered species. The third thing is community-based conservation. Zimbabwe recognizes the importance of involving local communities in conservation efforts. Community-based conservation initiatives empower local residents to actively participate in safeguarding their natural resources. Training programs have been implemented across Zimbabwe to empower citizens to actively participate in creating a sustainable environment. The fourth thing is use of renewable energy. Zimbabwe has embraced renewable energy sources to reduce its dependence on fossil fuels. The country has invested in solar, wind, and hydroelectric power, harnessing its abundant natural resources for sustainable energy production. The fifth thing is reforestation and land rehabilitation. To combat deforestation and land degradation, Zimbabwe has implemented ambitious reforestation and land rehabilitation programs. These initiatives aim to restore ecosystems, mitigate climate change, and improve soil fertility. Lastly, National Cleanup Day. Every first Friday of every month, all Zimbabweans partake in a national cleanup campaign where everyone participates in litter picking and awareness campaigns. Zimbabwe's commitment to environmental preservation is creating a sustainable future for generations to come. By focusing on sustainable cities, wildlife conservation, community engagement, renewable energy, rehabilitation, and national cleanups, Zimbabwe is leading the way towards a greener and more resilient future. I am Courtney Johnson. I am Miss Earth Zimbabwe. I am a woman of the earth.
I love the footage of the lionesses. Just like it's obviously too hot, just lying on the side, and she's petting them, and they don't care. I got a cat, and it's really hot here at the moment. He's the same, just like, oh, pat me. Anyway, Casey, this is your video, so you go for it.
I know, at first when I started watching it, I'm like, "Oh no, this is different." I didn't know how I felt about it, but as I continued to listen, I feel like my theme for all the videos were a bullet pointed list. I got a header of what the
Mhm.
topic was and a bullet pointed list, and that's how she told me about all these
Yeah.
things in Zimbabwe. One clip that I thought was very interesting was when she's definitely behind a podium, she's speaking, and somebody was holding a pink poster that had cut out pieces on it next to her. And in my brain, like it made me think when I go to watch someone speak at some sort of event in America, they have a huge whiteboard or they have some sort of projector system. And it's crazy to see how other countries, go to different
Mm.
speaking events. And so I it's a very humbling thing for me to see, things that we take for granted here. People in other countries don't even have those resources or have
Yeah.
the ability to have those technologies, and it may just be in where she was at in Zimbabwe or the type of, what community she was in, they just didn't have those resources, but it made me sit back and think a little bit of like, wow, like in the US, we have a lot of things that I take for granted, and in my brain, having those, PowerPoints or those presentation systems, that's in every auditorium you go in. They have a white screen that drops down with a projector from the ceiling, like,
Mm.
that's just it.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, that's how it looks. So it really made me think a little bit about showing and being able to see what other cultures have and how they, even with a piece of paper and some cutout things, can still make a difference in the world.
Yeah.
And so I just loved this one because it was so different. It really stood out to me. And if she ever wanted to go on the news, I think this is a great clip to show, "Hi, I can do this. This is what I can do." And
Newsreader right
so
there. Yeah.
yeah, if chemical engineering does not work out for Courtney, I think that being a news anchor will. But I really love this just because it made me sit back and think a little bit. And that's what I want to do and think about with these eco initiatives of how can I implement this into my everyday, having reusable bottles. I have a Stanley cup, I
Mm.
have different things that I use that I'm now switching over to, and then, with these, I just take them, I recycle my cans, like, that's just what you do now. But it's just interesting seeing what other countries have and what they
Mm.
do with their eco initiatives, but I love this video. This is another one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's interesting what things can actually make you think, because I think as judges, that's what you want, is someone who stands out and actually makes you think. And it's very interesting that you mentioned such a little thing that other people might not have noticed at all, and that was the one that kind of grabbed your attention and then caused like a chain of thoughts. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. So can I just say also, Miss Earth, next year if you do these, can we not? You either have to tell the contestants to put all their things on the right side or put your
Yes.
because I'm trying to read behind it and I saw hurrah. It's oh right, okay. Because it's annoying me that it's a subtitle on top of subtitle and I can't read both. I get it. I'm being picky. That's just the way my brain works. All right. So those were our picks for days 1 and 2. So just a reminder, from day 1, Casey had Albania, Czech Republic, and France. I had Denmark, England, and the US Virgin Islands. And then from day 2, Casey had Bangladesh, Kenya, and Zimbabwe, which we just saw. And I had Kenya as well, Netherlands, and the United States. So those are our thoughts. You guys can let us know your thoughts beneath in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to say thank you to Casey for her time. We're actually going to jump off here and then immediately do days 3 and 4. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But thank you, Casey, and I'll be chatting to you again soon.